Hey guys, it's Erin Blackman here. I was asked to do a video in regards to living with PTSD and my husband, what it's like to be an Army wife, and to try to bring awareness to PTSD and to suicide prevention. 22. I'm a very emotional person, so I'm already starting to get a little emotional just thinking about this, so just give me a minute. Being a veteran's wife, it's the best and the worst thing in the world. Now, what I mean by the best and the worst thing in the world is my husband Joey is a great man. He really is. He's an honorable man. But this is when Jack is in his box. He's loving and considerate and passionate when he wants to be. And then there are moments where you have to realize that you're not ever going to get a Valentine's Day present again, or a birthday present, or anything for you as the wife, mother, sister or brother of a veteran. Is their heads are going a mile a minute. And if you know your veteran really well, like I think I do, you can see it in their faces when it's turning. And PTSD, I say, sometimes I use the word when Jack comes out of his box, or a PTSD outburst. What I mean by that is, if you look in your husband's face and you can see in his eyes that something is wrong, something isn't right, but in your head you're going, everything is perfect right now. We are very blessed, very, very blessed people. I have a wonderful husband who has a pretty good wife, I think. A beautiful daughter, 2 wonderful dogs. Of course, right now we don't have our own house, which is fine, but you can tell when Jack is spinning. I've gotten to the point now where I can feel it when I wake up. Even if he's still asleep, I can just feel that tension, that something's going to happen. And it could be my own anxiety. Most of the time things do happen, or I can tell when he gets up later that those gears are turning, for sure. Another thing you have to realize with a veteran, especially a combat veteran, is that when they were overseas, they were on this constant adrenaline all the time. And from the research I've done, it's equivalent to being on drugs, but it's a hormone produced by your own body that causes your heart to race, shortness of breath, anxiety, and this constant urge to defend, the constant urge for the fight or flight method in your brain. And I'm trying not to get too scientific because it helps me, though, to not be emotional. But this is real, when that adrenaline's going and going and going and going for 6 months to a year at a time, and then they come home to where you should be anxiety-free or, comfortable in your environment. It's just not the case, because this adrenaline has been going and going and going and going, which makes them all very hyper-vigilant, constantly on the go. They're constantly looking, for, I guess, Iraqi cars, the way they drive, the way they talk, I do know that as a person with anxiety, I couldn't imagine nothing every day. I could not imagine having that kind of in-depth anxiety and urge all the time. And to get to the suicide, you can't help it. Doctors at the VA won't help them. Not the way that they should. They can go sit in a room all day long and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but that doesn't take away the anxiety. It doesn't take away the feelings of, what am I doing here? What's my purpose now? That they're home and they can't go back. A lot of them want to go back. because it's just how they've adapted to living. And so many people want to just shun them or say, oh, well, this isn't real. Oh, it's real. It's super real. It's more real than me sitting here right now. Just as real. So they live with this every day, this anxiety, every single day. And if you've ever experienced anxiety, it's this overwhelming urge of doom. Is what it's like. Something bad is going to happen. And you can't, everything can be going great, and you're still anxious and deep within your stomach. And it causes you to overreact, to get angry quickly. And as far as like what I call PTSD outbursts is normally when Joey is really anxious. Something's got to go. He's got to do something. He's got something's about to happen, or I need to do something. Something's wrong. I'm supposed to be doing something, and it's just constantly turning in his head. And my response, especially when I'm not real anxious, is, just calm down. That doesn't work. I know that doesn't work, but I really don't have another word for it. To tell him that everything's going to be okay. I've seen blackouts where I was scared, not for my safety, not for the safety of my daughter, no, never. I was scared for him, and I stay scared for him all the time, and I don't think that he really realizes this. And me, I am still a woman, I'm still a human being. I get upset too. And I say things I shouldn't say or push what I shouldn't push. But these outbursts where they're not in their own mind, like you can look in his eyes and tell he's not here mentally, physically, yes. Mentally, he's not here. He's somewhere else. And I've told him, before you're home, you're safe, you're with me. I'm never gonna let anything happen to you. But I can't prevent anything from happening to him. Heck, I rely on him for my protection, our daughter's protection. And I know that I'm bouncing all over the place here, guys, because I just, I was asked to do this video, and I'm not very good at it. PTSD is not a joke. And I swear to God, I want to punch everybody I've ever heard say that. Including family. It's a constant urge of walking on eggshells. Or a constant feeling of walking on eggshells. You're constantly, as a wife, I'm constantly alert of his moods. The way he drives, I can tell. He hates it when I ride with him, by the way. I think he's going to kill us all, but that's besides the point. He drives like he's still overseas. He has no tolerance at all for, people on the road, and stupid people, or even worse. People who overstep against something that he believes, 99% of the time there's going to be a confrontation. And that scares me as a wife. That scares me because of people are crazy. And even though Joey might have a gun or whatever, there's always, when I can see he's getting irritated with somebody other than me, I get scared because I don't know the other person. Which then in turn makes him matter because, I guess it's a blow at his manhood, which I know he could protect us, but I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about him. There's just so much to being a veteran wife. It's great. Wonderful at times. It is. I swear to God, I can't stay mad at that man who saved my life. And it's always gonna come make me laugh. That's the joy I feel. Not the sick veteran. The hero. The soldier. The man. He's not labeled by his PTSD. He's labeled as a veteran, as somebody who took the initiative to protect me and every other civilian in this country, including immigrants and blacks and Asians and all this crap going on in this world today. It's not worth it. You guys don't focus on the bigger picture. But don't worry, I won't go into that right now. Our veterans are not labeled by their PTSD. That does not shape who they are. Who they are the people in uniform. Even if they're wearing it or not. They're soldiers. Always. Male or female veterans. They're soldiers. And they have sacrificed more than any of us could ever imagine. Because we've never been there. And I get that. But to get down to the nitty-gritty of this video is suicide. I fear it every day. I fear it more when I know he's upset, even if it's with me. I've hidden our gun before several times. And I don't know why. But as a wife, and I'm going to admit something here that Joy's been probably mad at me later about, but there has been times where I have contacted his friends and his buddies and his battle buddies after I've hidden a gun or I could feel something really bad's going on. I'll contact one of his brothers or sisters and say, hey, I need your help. Joey's going through something. Could you just call him today or later or when you get a minute? Just check on him for me. Because that is his wife. I know that there's limitations to what I can do for him. Because I'm a civilian. I don't know half of what I talk about when I try to listen and be part of a conversation when it comes to something he's going through. Remember, Steve? I don't know. I just try to be understanding. But as wives and mothers, brothers and sisters to our vets, it's not only their responsibility to reach out. We're talking about some of the most proudest people in the world. The U.S. military. You know, they're not going to reach out the way that they need to, the way that they should. So it's our responsibility to watch for these signs, to look for these moments, even if it's just in their facial expression. And as wife or mother, brother or sister, or even just a friend, it's our responsibility to make sure that something gets done. You know, like I said, I always shoot one of Joey's friends a message and say, hey, you know, he's having a hard time. Could you come and talk to him? And, Sam, be quiet. And, I think that helps. When you know, a friend calls and just says, hey man, how you doing? We're doing a buddy check. I think it helps. But the veteran community and the spouses and the families involved in this, we have each other. We need to rely on each other. Somebody who's not been there or where we are is going to help us the way that they should. Not that they don't want to, but it's that they can't. They don't know how to. I'm sorry. But we need to really bang out PTSD awareness and suicide awareness of our vets. If you meet one on the street, this is going to be my challenge to you, to everybody. You meet a veteran on the street, say, hey man, can I get your number and your name? Give them yours. You know, sincerely say, hey, this is my number if you want to call, if you ever need anything, blah, blah. But don't just leave it there. Don't leave it for them to call you. Call them. Check on them. Because maybe your phone call will save their life. Alright, guys. I gotta go clean this up. I love you all. Do a buddy check every day.